Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the MRA Racehub. Today, our guest star here today is Division 1 driver the '07 Lone Motors Toyota Camry, is Stopmania.
What is up?
And today, we have a few good and important topics that we're going to talk today. As you can see, we're finally, as this is now our new booth that we'll be using for the show. And maybe this might be our topic about this booth, maybe for MRA Season 5. But, we got a few things to say. And before we get to our topic, follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram name is MRA Swag. Follow us on Instagram so you'll see more details that you can't get on the YouTube channel. And, it'll be really helpful for you if you would follow us on the Instagram page. As you see, here's our Instagram, MRA_swag. There it is, and let's get on with the show. So our first topic is about the Charlotte recap. Charlotte MRA last week was actually the first night races that Cup went to for the Nationwide Cup Series. It was actually a crazy race. The All-Star race was crazy. The Showdown was crazy. Even the Coco 600 was crazy. A driver ran out of fuel, and it was really crazy. And we're gonna let Stopmania talk about how he thought Charlotte was last week.
I thought Charlotte. The only really thing I paid attention to was how fun and how fast my car was running. My car, I was able to hold the right racing line going through 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, I kept hooking the car down the bank and coming out, so my car would get loose as I came out of turn 4, and I had trouble saving it coming out of there. Then King Prime was on my bumper for the final laps before the pit stop, and then, the green flag pit stop ran, King Prime dumped me, and Agent somehow got out of the pits first, and on the yellow flag, Agent just took off. I was able to take second from starting last place on the restart. He was able to get around everybody that wrecked, and we brought the car home second place in the Coke 600. But for the All-Star, the story was way different. My car was running garbage during the All-Star. I had probably what could be considered the worst car on the track during the All-Star, but we managed to pull our way into a third-place finish because we blocked everybody coming out of 2, and then we just blocked them back straightaway.
So speaking, how I thought the All-Star race was, it was actually a crazy good event. Segment 1 is when everybody didn't really go aggressive. Segment 2 is when the memes started happening. Segment 3 was actually kind of alright. And then segment 4 was just wild. Everybody already knew, okay, the 3 segments are done. Now it's time to get serious and try to go win some Robux. King Prime, who won at least 3 segments, I think, he dominated, but in the Coco 600 was a different story. Now, Coco 600 was actually a wild race. Drivers were just banging and crashing. Ellie, who got his first stage win of the Cup Series, he ran out of fuel, sadly. I don't know how. It's weird how he pitted, but then he runs out of fuel 3 laps later. I don't know what happened there. But
I think his pit crew messed up.
Yeah, but we're, Ellie said he's going to work on it. He's going to work on his strategy, and he's ready to go out to race in Dover next week. So Charlotte was actually a crazy week for Division 3 and Division 1. It was actually a wild week, and we'll see what's going to happen next week for MRA. Next topic is again Season 5 updates. There's been some sponsor updates, there's been some team updates, and there's been lots of roster updates. So as you can see, Brass Pro Shops has now will sponsor Ellie next season in that number 5 Chevy Camaro. It will be I don't know how to say this. It will basically be his primary sponsor. One Main will be now his secondary sponsor. Um, yeah, we'll see what Ellie can do next season driving that hot car. Next up is Procore will sponsor the number 13 of the Epic Master next season. He will be driving that car, I'm supposing. He's a Casey Kane fan, so I ain't surprised. And there's been some new team changes, especially with this guy, Stopmania, his team about Lone Motors. Hey, Stop. What's Lone Motors' future in MRA Season 5?
I feel like we're gonna run a Division 2 and a Division 1 kind of team. I think our truck team is going to be shutting down. Unless we can find some driver to have in the 32, it's shutting down because II Kyle Busch is either leaving or he's moving up to D2. I'm not keeping him in D3. But our Division 2 is we're looking for brand new drivers. So if you're an MRA fan, you're looking for a D2 spot, hit Lone Motors up and we can try to offer you the new 07. All right, I didn't say that. Whatever. But yeah, so Sprite is coming on board for the D1 car, and I'm pretty happy with that. Car looks really nice. It's a nice like lime green car, and I feel like it's going to do good on the track, especially because I got my start in mesh racing, and here we are. We're back racing meshes, so that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you right there. It's like my team. Makuru Racing will not have a we might switch basically. We don't know, but we might have a 3-driver truck team for next season because we've been like basically a 2-truck team. We're gonna fix on some updates, and other few updates have been really miraculous over here around the past few times. It's been really crazy. Season 5 might actually be maybe possibly a good season. We'll see about that. How are you thinking about Season 5?
I think it's going to be cool because we have some of these drivers coming up to the Cup, and mesh racing is going to be back for, I believe, the 3rd time in MRA. But
Yeah,
I feel like now Ellie is going to have an even better shot at winning some Cup races, considering he won his Xfinity Championship last season with his, and it was in a mesh car. So, but I also feel like some drivers aren't going to be as good in the mesh cars as some are in the block. Like, there's some drivers that are doing really good in block cars that don't do good in mesh cars.
Yeah, so, a big thing just popped up. As we will tell, iRacing will sponsor the driver of the 86 Speed Motorsports Chevy Camaro JGCBT. He will now be sponsored by iRacing next season. Amp might shut down. Amp might leave MRA. That's what we're hearing about, and we'll see what JJ will think about during hearing this announcement. Now let's get on to our next topic, guys. Next topic is about the point standings for MRA. We're talking about how driver Avwale, who drives the 00 Ford Mustang for Elias Racing, we're talking about how he's keeping this points lead. So Av technically is leading by 42 points. He's leading above ahead of lots of good drivers. He doesn't even have a win yet. Just like Stopmania over here, who's the points leader in Division 1, who doesn't even have a win yet, and he's just leading the points. And we tell why. I always say this. Stage points matter. And that's why they matter. Now we're going to talk about how Av is keeping his points lead when everybody doubts him all the time. So, Stop. What's your opinion on Av, especially holding these points lead? Stop.
Av, what he's doing is he's just finishing these. That's the key to getting up there, having a big points lead, is finishing races. A lot of these drivers will wreck, get mad, and leave. But Av, he'll stay, he'll finish the races, and he'll get top 5 most of the time, which gives him more points than the people that DNF. And that's how me and Av are keeping the points lead.
Now, that's basically right. He led the points lead last season, but he couldn't keep it up when by Ellie's strong, powerful performance. Av is really keeping up, and we'll see what can he do to try to get in the chase.
Because Michael was at Atlanta and Darlington, and Spider was at Bowman Gray and Gateway.
So, only been 2 drivers with 2 wins, but not in the Cup Series. How are they winning? And what did they do to win? We're talking about the Division 2 driver of Michael Felipe 12 and Division 3 driver Spider-Man 007. These two are the only people this season that has more than 1 win. But Spider is the only driver to win back-to-back. He won at Bowman Gray, then he won the other week at Gateway. Michael won week 2 at Atlanta and then wins week 5 at Darlington. How are these guys doing it? We don't even know. But all we know is that they're using their strategy at the right time when it's, possible to. So we're going to talk about how these drivers are doing, and we're going to talk about their performance. So, Stop. What is your opinion on these 2 drivers?
Well, I feel like they're both really talented drivers that have a good future ahead of them in road racing. But I do feel like Spider is a little bit more aggressive than Michael is, because Spider, even though he's in the truck series, drives it in deep like he's a Cup driver, and he's taken out a couple drivers before, so a couple people don't like his driving style. But I find it, I like the way he drives, because he, drives like a Cup driver even though he's driving a truck. However, Michael's more laid back and chill. He's the guy that he'll be in P2 and nobody will notice. Until the leader chokes, here comes Michael out of turn 4, and Michael will win.
So, speaking of Michael's really talented. And how do you feel about Season 5? Because these 2 will battle each other next season, Division 2.
I feel like it's going to be exciting to see Division 2 drivers battle, some that were in the truck, some that were in, Division 2, forever. It's going to be cool to see those drivers, it's going to be cool to see them race each other, too. Because the Division 2 drivers now aren't as aggressive as some of the Cup drivers and the truck drivers, because Division 2, they don't really know what to do. They're kind of stuck in the middle, and they don't know if they want to go up or want to go down or want to stay. What they do on the track is they'll drive like it's the last lap every lap. Especially some of these younger drivers in D2, these new drivers that are hopping in, like Bonnie, District, all those drivers. Can't wait to see where their MRA future will put them.
Now we're about to do the Mania Hour, where Stopmania will talk about his predictions for this week and other stuff. As Stop, you may begin.
All right, so this week I'm gonna start from D3 and go up. My D3 prediction has to be GTA. The kid's on an iPad, but he can drive. And I feel like he's gonna be good because it's the shorter tracks don't lag as much, so I feel like that might work out. And then D2. I'm not sure about my D2 pick, but I think Bonnie has some. He showed a lot of skill last week, and I think he's going to be able to get the win. And for D1, I have to go with King Prime. He's good at Dover. What else do I have to say about it? He's really good at Dover. And I also want to talk about my Final 4 predictions. for, for MRA, basically. So my final four predictions for Division 1. Let's see here. Hold on. My Division 1 final four predictions. I'm not going to give away my championship predictions, but my final four predictions for D1 are me, Ellie, Dev, and Agent. That's what I'm going to say for D1. For D2, I think Avs and Michael Felipe definitely. I think Breezy has a shot as well. And Brain is going to get in the final four for D2. And then D3, I know Tough Tyler's probably going to make it. Spider's going to make it. I think Boyer has a shot. And maybe, potentially Foxy, if he could score a win, he could get in the final four. All right, that is it for the Mania Hour.
All right, thanks for talking with us today. Thanks, YouTube, for talking, watching this episode of the MRA Racehub show. As we will be posting more events. Remember, follow us on Instagram so you can see more updates. Thank you, YouTube, for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Goodbye, YouTube.